So continue with the data validation. In previous, we have worked with the avoidance of typing the duplicate data in the single column. Suppose in the single column, if I start typing the repeated branch over here, it will throw an error. That was with the help of the single field that we have worked. In this session, we'll be working with the more than one field that should throw the error if I am typing the repeated name. Suppose I'm typing the branch repeatedly, and if I'm typing the consultant name repeatedly, the cell should throw the error. So here I've taken a simple example of the volume traded in stock derivatives by the consultants, right? And they are in various branches, and suppose there is a report needed by National Stock Exchange that in previous month what is the volume traded by the consultant, and I don't want the consultant repeated traded to be report to be sent to the NSE. I need only the one report, only single report to be sent to the NSE, right? So in this case, first we'll be working with the countif functions, then we'll do some conditional formatting, then we get into custom data validation. So first we do with the function called countifs, right? Countifs. So equal to countifs, countifs. So countifs function. So countifs function, we can select the criteria range by more than one single field. So tab key, then criteria range 1. So it is asking for criteria range 1. So I'll be selecting the criteria range 1 as C3 to C. Then I'll just lock the cell with function F4, then comma, then the criteria is ADIR. So the values, the branch name should not be repeated. So I'm selecting the first cell C3, the value which is in the cell. Then comma, till asking for the criteria range 2. So I'll be selecting this range from D3 to D11, D3 to D11, right? Then I'll be clocking the cell with function F4, then comma, it will be asking for what is the criteria. So criteria is that the name of the consultant should not be repeated. So D3, I'll be selecting D3 and close the bracket and control enter. So in this case, we find that the values that is written by countifs function is if the values are repeated. If it is repeated, it shows you 2. If it is not repeated, it shows you only 1. So I'll just show the highlight part of this one. So I'll just do the highlighting of this 2. See, I'll just do the highlight. So here we have this ADR Mandavali is repeated. Then you have this one is again repeated, and this last is also repeated. So you can see that the ADR Ramesh consultant who has done a volume traded in stock derivative 36177. Same thing he is repeated, but I require the report that should be sent only for one report, not repeated. So next month, previous month report that I have to send to the NSE is that I don't want the report should be sent multiply. Only one report, only one volume traded of contract should be sent to the NSE. So I need only this list I require. I don't want the repeated to be done. So in this case, we can do the condition also. Instead of showing the values, we can show the true and false also, right? So in this case, select the entire cell and come here and do addition of the less than equal to 1 and control enter. So in this case, it shows you the false arguments if it is repeated, right? And it shows you the true value if it is not repeated. So these are the two logical functions that we can work, right? Now this can be done, this highlighted part can be done with the help of the conditional formatting also. So let us get into the conditional formatting by highlighting if it is repeated. This can also be done. So now we're getting into conditional formatting. Repeated values has to be highlighted in yellow color, right? So this yellow color I want should be highlighted in the box if it is repeated. Suppose ADR is repeated here, yes, it is false, so I need it should be highlighted in yellow. So we can get into conditional formatting. Go to conditional formatting, go to new rule, right? In the new rule, a new formatting rule dialog box will open. In that you have to select a rule type. So come to the last one, use a formula to determine which cell to format. So click that, select it, then you find that you have to write the rule description in this box, right? Format values where this formula is true. In this case, I'll be writing the count ifs. So CONTIFS count ifs equal to count ifs, and the rule criteria, the criteria range. What is the criteria range? The criteria range is nothing but the branch, right? So RDR C3, cell 3, C3 to cell C11, it will lock automatically, right? Then the criteria is set that if the branch value should not be repeated, I'm selecting cell C3. So in this case, you find that the dollar symbol is along with the C and dollar symbol is along with 3. So in this case, the cell will not move if the selection process is done. So here we have to lock the column. So I let the dollar remain with the column and I remove the dollar symbol along with the row, that is 3, right? Comma, again it will be asking for the criteria range. In this case, we'll be selecting the range of the consultant. So cell D3 to D11, then comma, the criteria it will be asking is that name, so D3. In this case, once again, I lock the column and the row should move freely, right? So for this, I'll be eliminating the dollar in the row, right? Then close the bracket and we have to test a condition that if it is more than 1, if it is repeated more than 1, it should throw, I have to just highlight with the color yellow. So greater than 1. So I've done this. Then come to format. So come to format and you can select the color. See if I say that I require yellow has to be highlighted. So I click it OK. Again I click OK. You find that the cell which are repeated, the values which are repeated is highlighted in yellow. So this is done with the help of the conditional formatting.